You're scrolling, drifting through the endless static of the algorithm, waiting for the signal to cut through the noise. Consider, if you will, that you just found the frequency. You've just stepped off the timeline of the everyday, into the space where the forgotten history and the hidden truths finally touch down. There's the story you know, and then there's the airspace we're about to enter. Check your coordinates, because you're heading towards the landing point. Welcome back, friends. Today's story. What's my middle name? The year was 1923. The place was a little town called Vincennes, Indiana. Outside the local Pantheon Theater, a 10-year-old boy was making an awful racket. Little Richard was a newsboy. He didn't just sell papers, he performed them. He had a loud, persistent pattern that echoed down the street, a survival mechanism born out of necessity. You see, Richard's father, a circus clown by trade, had passed away 2 months before the boy even was born. His mother worked incredibly hard, but times were impossibly lean. So little Richard hit the streets at the age of 7 to help put food on the table. He learned early on that if you were loud enough and funny enough, you could sometimes annoy passers-by into buying a paper just to get a moment of peace and quiet. This particular evening, a well-dressed stranger approached the freckled-faced, red-headed boy. The man asked him what was going on in town. Richard never missed a beat, pointing out the Pantheon Theater and suggesting the man go see the new show. The stranger smiled. He reached into his pocket and bought every single paper the boy had. And then he handed Richard a ticket to that very show. That night, Richard sat in the audience, completely mesmerized. After the curtain fell, the stranger found him and took the boy backstage, introducing him to the hidden world of greasy paint, bright lights, and laughter. That stranger, by the way, was none other than the legendary comedian Ed Wynn. Ed Wynn had planted a seed. Not long after, young Richard dropped out of school, packed his meager belongings, and joined a traveling medicine show. One night, while carrying props across the stage, the boy tripped. He tumbled into the footlights, breaking several glass bottles of the miracle cure they were trying to sell. The audience roared with laughter. Richard sat up, dusted himself off, and realized something profound. Making people laugh wasn't just a way of selling newspapers. It was magic. He would take that magic from the medicine shows to the riverboats, from the dusty vaudeville stage to the radio waves, and eventually into the living rooms of millions of Americans every single week. He painted masterpieces with simple battered hats and rubber faces, creating characters that became the beloved members of our own families. Clem Cadiddlehopper, the mean little kid, Freddie the freeloader, the loud, fatherless little newsboy from Vincennes, Indiana, grew up to be one of the greatest clowns the world has ever known. You knew him as Red Skelton. And whether you realize it or not, this is The Landing Point. Viewers, thank you for watching today, The Landing Point. We really appreciate it. I'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Roadrunner Real Estate. They are a full-service real estate company doing both commercial and residential real estate. They can help you buy, sell, or even lease your properties. So if you're in the market looking for a real estate company, please go out and give them a call. They'll happily help you today. The next thing I'd like to talk about is our social media. Obviously, we have YouTube if you're watching that today. If you haven't done so already, please go out and subscribe. It is completely free to you. There's nothing that you'll be charged or your membership fees, but it does help us out so we can get our latest episodes to you quickly, and you can find out what's going on with YouTube. Our other place that we do a lot of our social media is on our Facebook page, The Landing Point. So please go out and like and subscribe or follow those, I guess I would say, so you get the latest updates. If you're a person that likes to listen to stories as you're out on the drive, we have our podcast. You can find The Landing Point out there, and it can be on most services. So once again, thank you for watching The Landing Point, and we look forward to see you on our next story.